So before I really start to talk about the mantra, let me tell you a little bit about Tantra itself, because mantra fits into the way that Tantra sees reality as part of its practices as a spiritual path. So Tantra itself doesn't really perceive reality in the way that most of us have come to accept reality, in that we are in a body and that we have brothers and sisters and fathers and mothers. It really thinks about the individual and the experience of the entire universe as not being so much physical, but as ripples of vibration that are happening within what it perceives to be as consciousness. So sometimes in our culture, oftentimes in our culture, we use the term God to describe what the yoga path and what Tantra refers to as consciousness. So they don't always put any specific attribute on it. They think that at its highest level, it is nothing but light and vibration. And that light and vibration moving within this experience of awareness creates an unfolding experience that at some point ripples down to what we now perceive as our earthly experience. So coming from that understanding, their tools and the practices that they work with are about bringing ourselves back in attunement with that as being reality. And they honor everybody for where they're starting at. You know, they know that as you begin, most people will think, yes, I am this body. But they are wanting to give you tools and, more importantly, experience to help show you that there is a greater reality out there, and to take you step by step into that reality, trying to honor where you are, but continuing to bring you out. So there is an unfolding of the universe that happens, if you will. We're out in consciousness. There is this idea that happens one day of, hey, I'll create a universe today. And that universe is imagined in great detail as a universal mind. And the thought comes up, and then there is power within that consciousness that takes the idea and it begins to manifest it. So it starts at these very subtle vibrational fields out in this expansiveness of consciousness, as you may think. And it begins to sort of ripple on itself to create overtones. It starts to create more increasingly complex vibrations. And those vibrations over time also begin to slow down. So as they slow down, they move through our experience in a way that we might think of them as sort of being our soul, our mind, our emotions, and finally our physicality. And so there's a reflection of the vibrations that are moving through our experience and bringing us down to this moment. And I know a lot of you have had various different experiences with healing, and so you're familiar with the understanding that a lot of healing really takes place in the mind, that we really need to shift mind issues. We need to clear out emotional patterns. And that's very much understood by the Tantric path. And they work with things as being vibration. And one of the reasons that they work with vibration is that it kind of takes us out of our normal way of thinking about things. Because if we adopt an approach that I am trying to fix the body, or I am trying to fix my emotions, then we're still identifying ourselves with the mindset of being in the body, with the mind and with emotions. And so we want to start to bring ourselves out into what they refer to as witness consciousness, so that we're able to really understand and witness and experience the movement of vibration and take off the labels that we normally associate with things to get ourselves free. So within that understanding of everything being vibration, then the tools that they work with are also about vibration. They're about energy. They're about building energy and taking ourselves into that expanded witness state and allowing ourselves to move energy through us to understand our natural state and to bring ourselves back to our natural state. So in a very practical way, it can be understood that getting ourselves to that state in Tantra is really the most important piece of it from a spiritual perspective, of a spiritual path. That's the goal they're trying to get to. And therefore, when they use these tools, they're trying to get themselves to that place, which ultimately becomes a very high level of meditation.